Okay, we are going to look now at instant details and a few other miscellaneous features inside Accordance. So I'm back up now. I have a Hebrew window. It's still set at Genesis 6:1, which is where we left off last time. And up here in the white bar at the top, this command and search bar, if the blue-gray is set to verses, then I can type a book and a verse right into the command line. So I'd say I can type Psalm 1. That will take me, obviously, to Psalm 1. I can also type an abbreviation, PS1. It'll get me there. I could type in PSA space 1. So generally I abbreviate, so I'll just do PS space 1. That will get me to the same place. The other option here is words. So you have verses and words in this blue-gray little oval here. And if I type words, then instead of typing in verse numbers, I will be typing in Hebrew words. And so if I do need to get to a verse, I can always do that, no matter how this is set in my search bar, down at the very bottom right. So you see there's verse set here. I can type in Psalm whatever. I can type in Genesis 6, and I'll go to Genesis 6. I can also type the chapter and the verse. So I can type Genesis 6:10, and so then I get, I have to put a colon between them. So Genesis space 6:10, I get to Genesis 6:10. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to type PS space 1. That will get me to Psalm 1. And Psalm 1 is the psalm that we're going to be looking at in this class extensively. So now let's figure out how to do instant details. So earlier under Preferences, I had you set your triple-click default to the Dictionary of Classical Hebrew. I'm going to make the window smaller here so that we can see what we're looking at under Preferences, and then under Preferences, under Amplify, we had triple-click default was Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew. So we set that up last time. I'm just going back through it so to remind you of what's happening. So I'll just showing you what I had. I didn't really change anything. Let me expand the window back out again. So coming back to Psalm 1, so when I hover over a word, you see it highlighted. Then if I click on the word briefly, maybe for half a second, the instant details come up. The word itself is printed over on the left-hand side in Hebrew. Then we get the transliteration, and I've taken the click off. It's just sitting there looking at me. And the transliteration shows up because back in our preferences, we clicked that English transliteration box when I told you to click all the boxes. You can go back and look at the first video if you want to see how to do that. And then it comes over, tells you it's a particle, and it tells you what it means. Down at the bottom, it gives you the Strong's number. In this case, the Strong's number, the definition it gives you down here is not correct. The Strong's number is wrong here. It should be 834. This is a bug in Accordance. So now, if I want to copy that, I can come over here to the very top right of the Instant Details box, and notice that when I hover over it, it says Copy Instant Details. I click on that, and then I can go to another file, for instance, Word, and then do a paste, and it will paste the contents into that document. That will be very helpful. All right, now, click somewhere else, and the instant details go away. If I hover over a word and I press Control, so now I'm going to hover over the same word, I'm going to press Control, which you can't see, but which I'm doing. I'm then going to click on this word, and it's going to bring up the dictionary entry for it. And so I've got the Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew entry for this word, so that can be very helpful. Again, if I want to copy that entire entry, I can do that by coming over and clicking the Copy Instant Details. And that will go ahead and copy this dictionary entry. Okay, so that's one way to look at instant details, is just to click on a word. And if you click on that word for about a half a second, whatever word it happens to be, it will bring up the instant details. If I hit Control and then do the same thing, it will bring up the dictionary entry. You can also bring up the dictionary entry. Remember, we set the triple click default. I can triple click on a word. So I'm going to triple click on this word. 1, 2, 3. And it brings up the dictionary entry in a separate window, a parallel window over here. Notice it says Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew at the top. Generally, I resize the window to make it smaller. And so you just do that by hovering your cursor right over the border line, then clicking and then dragging the window so that it's narrower. So I like my Hebrew window to be wider and my dictionary window to be narrower. But that's just up to you. So that gives me the entry for the Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew for any word that I triple click on. And remember, I said that if you hover over that word and hit Control and then click for half a second, you will get the same entry in your Instant Details window. But you can also get the dictionary entry by triple clicking. If I want to close that window, notice I don't see any way to do it. I have to put my cursor on the blue-gray bar at the top, and then notice that the little X shows up, and then I can get rid of that window if I want to. I can also open the Dictionary of Classical Hebrew over here under New. I just click the New button, come down and hover over Hebrew lexicons, and then come over to Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew, click on that, and it will pull it up. And again, I usually resize it, but that's another way to bring up the lexicon without having to triple click on a word. We talked about hovering over a word, clicking without control, and this just brings up the simple instant details. You can also bring up an instant details window separately. Now, you do that by coming to the window menu item up here at the top, click on window, and then notice the second one, the second option here is instant details. It also says you can do the same thing with Control-Alt-2. So the instant details, click on that, and it brings up a window down below. You may see it parallel over on the right hand side. You can set that to be either one. It's an option. So the instant details will show the information for a word just by hovering over it. So notice I start at the beginning of Psalm 1 up here. I'm highlighting the very first word. It gives me the instant details down in a separate window. If I hit Control, like I did before, it will bring up the full Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew entry for it. Now, in order to be able to copy that information, I need to hit Shift, and when I hit Shift, then I can come down and click on the Copy Instant Details clipboard here. That will allow me to copy it and then paste it. Another option here is for the instant details in general. Notice if I hover over the top little button here, it says switch to vertical orientation. If I click that, it switches the instant details over here to a window on the very right hand side. And so I can toggle back and forth. I can switch to horizontal. I can switch to vertical. Just whatever you prefer. Just I often keep it at the bottom, but you can switch it over to the very right hand side if you want. Doesn't make a lot of difference. And again, you can toggle that on and off either by going to Windows and clicking the instant details, or with Control-Alt-2. I'll just do that right here, Control-Alt-2. Notice I can toggle the instant details on and off by hitting Control-Alt-2. Off, on. Very easy to do. That can be convenient. If I hover over a word, it gives me the instant details. The same information that I saw when I clicked on the word. Notice the Same information shows up here right under the word, but I have to click on it. When I have the Instant Details window, I just hover over it and it automatically gives it to me without any extra clicks on my part. So that's the Instant Details window, and it's quite useful. Showed you how to get the dictionary up, and I'm going to get rid of the Instant Details window now because it oftentimes is more useful when looking at larger sets of text not to have it there. Remember that you can always click on a word and bring up the Instant Details in about half a second right below it. And then to get out of that, I have to click somewhere else. Okay, it goes away. Okay, so there's some information on pulling up the dictionary, the triple click option, or I can open that up alternatively under the New button. The New will give me an option of coming down and pulling up a Hebrew lexicon. So I can triple click or I can bring it up under the New button. And then the Instant Details. And again, under Windows, I can bring up Instant Details, and I can toggle back and forth between a right side orientation, or I can go down to a bottom of the page orientation. Note that I can also size the Instant Details however big I want it to be, just like I can size other windows. So that is how I deal with Instant Details and how I can get my dictionary to show me some definitions of words.